Hello everybody, and welcome to my challenge run of the World of Light in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now this game it by itself is pretty easy, which is why I decided to add in some extra challenges to make my playthrough a little bit more interesting. Number 1, I'm adding a Permadeath system, meaning if I unlock a character and they die at any point during the adventure, I cannot use that character anymore. Number 2, I can only use spirits that I find within the game, or I should say within the World of Light, which is an obvious one. And number 3, I'm also denying myself the uses of snacks. That way I don't overlevel and just crush everything really off the bat. But to avoid grinding in some later parts, I'm permitting myself to use the gem pretty much only once per world, meaning I can only use it once in the World of Light and once in the World of Dark. Those are the only 2 times I'm going to be permitting myself to use that gem. That way I just don't overlevel everything and just cheat everything out. And number 4, this is going to be a 100% completion game route, which means I have to go through and defeat every single spirit within the games. Because we know the bosses, almost all the bosses in this game can be cheesed pretty easily, but some of the spirits are much more harder than the actual bosses. Now, with that out of the way, let's continue on our journey. Now you'll notice that I'm still using my basic profile. I didn't delete my profile and or changed up anything within my own save system. But there is a cool little remedy that you can do. When you go into your spirits list, if you look in the top left corner, you'll see a little icon that organizes the spirits. If you change that icon to dates collected, you can go through the entire game just by seeing the spirits that you collected on your route. So luckily, I don't have to delete or create any new save files in order to continue this run. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started on our journey. We begin the journey with none other than Kirby, Sakurai's golden child. And throughout the adventure, you'll see that in the very beginning, you'll notice that I don't equip any spirits at all. Even though the game provides you with a starter spirit for the very beginning of the adventure, I thought that's going to be a bit cheap and undermine some challenge in the beginning. So I decided to forego that spirit and just continue in spiritless for the first few matches. Now all these ones don't pertain to any challenge, luckily, because with Kirby, you can easily cheese a lot of these. Oh yeah, one thing to also note is that if you're going to do the challenge the way I described at this point, there are 2 major spirits you should always keep an eye out when so that way you don't accidentally ruin your challenge run with using any other extra spirits. Because the first primary spirit you unlock is 100% always going to be Eevee. And the first support spirit that you unlock is always going to be the Smoky Prong. So as long as you keep those guys in the back of your memory banks, you won't have any problems continuing on with the challenge run. Now, as we push forward onto the spirit known as Celeste, this is where things can get a little tricky, because unfortunately to admit, I have died once to this spirit in the past. And that's because Jigglypuff's Rest is no joke. You will die to it if you're not camping the route and or making good confirms. If you get greedy during these runs, sometimes you can lose a character in the most unfortunate of ways. But luckily this time Celeste proves to be no challenge. So we'll move on to our first character of the run that we collect, which is of course Mario. Come on, I'm trying to cheese this guy. Because I know it's real easily to get overflowed with Mario gameplay, but if you're able to cheese Mario really fast, he proves to be no challenge whatsoever. Come on, let's try to cheese this guy. Come on. Come on, Mario, you really want to hit that bomb, don't you? I always love playing around the bombs. It always makes for the computers to panic. But it looks like he's not going to be going for it. Unless You see how he air dodges like that? Yeah, the computers hate that mine. It's a really good item to just throw down and try to ledge trap or play around in general with. Alright. Luckily, well, I wasn't able to cheese him, but at least we got Mario. The #1 character. And next up is the Guardian, and like before, if you go in it just guns a-blazing, you will have a really rough time with this one. My main strategy for this one is I like switching over to Mario just to deal with the stupid gyro and laser camping. But I also like grabbing a lot during this particular spirit. Cause my god, the super armor is just so fucking annoying with this thing. And since it's a stamina battle, it just gets me a little bit more pissed off with this guy. And it also doesn't help that he starts off with 50 more HP than you, which I find a bit unfair, but it's Mario. He can deal that damage within his sleep. Okay, I'm sweating a little bit. It's always a rough... I hate being around the same percentages as these CPUs. Luckily, Lipstick finishes him off. Now it comes to the interesting choices between Marth, Sheik, or Villager. Now mainly I'm the best with Sheik in this game. However, I have gone the Sheik route multiple times, and I can confirm that the Sheik route is a little bit harder than the other routes, I will say. It kind of limits you to what you have to do. You have to deal with a lot more camping and obnoxious projectile spirits. So I think the best route to go in, if you want to do for this challenge, I should say, you should definitely go with the Marth route. It gives you more access to the world. It allows you to do the bosses and anything more earlier. And you get a sword character, which is a really good thing to have with this game. Sure, it's one of the weakest sword characters, but it's a sword character that can lame out any character any time of the day. Alright, I'm just here trying to get my Mario combo started. A little bit annoying, but... And you always try to go for things, but they always get the frame perfect air dodge, which is super fucking annoying. Ooh, I got a bunny hood, which means I can air charge from anywhere. Let's go! And with that, we get Marth. Now let's continue on. Alright, next up is the spirit Charlotte On. And I gotta say, does anyone know where the fuck this character is from? Cause this is like one of the very first spirits of the game, and they had like a completely unrecognizable humanoid character. It really bothers me to know how many like random spirits come from random games in this game. Yeah, it's cool in concept, but like, come on, I really have no clue where this character is from. And would anyone be sorrowful that this character did not get a spirit? I know I'm just over talking how I just gimped a Richter, but it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, let's press onward. Alright, the next spirit on our list is Don Bongo. And this guy could really make or break a run right here. Luckily, since you got Mario, Kirby, and Marth, you really shouldn't have that much problems just juggling this asshole for the entirety of the game. But if you get careless and he starts spamming on you, then I can see like where things can go wrong. I don't think I ever lost a character to this spirit ever, but I can see like how a giant fucking penguin could steamroll right over someone's challenger, especially if he has a gun. Now come on, that jab lock should have hit. I always feel like I'm always slightly off the jab locks. Anyone else get that problem? I feel like I'm inputting it as fast as I can, but clearly not because it's not working. But yeah, just a big character, small stage, Mario's best stage I should say as well, shouldn't have any problems. Alright, let's just press on onwards and upwards, because there's actually one spirit up above that I really want to get, because it really does help lame out a lot of these spirit battles, especially in the early ons. You'll see it right after this, but yeah, nothing too interesting about this one, other than just Mario just laming out a Ryu. Let's skip ahead a little bit. However, I will note like how this Chespin Spirit, it deals with like one of the worst and weakest, yet somehow the most annoying move in the game, which I do believe to be Ivysaur Bullet Seed. Because my god, does it not have any damage, doesn't do anything, doesn't combo into anything, and yet it still has a really big, like a vacuum suction hitbox, to where I feel like it always feels like if you play it at the right time, it could be one of the most annoying moves in the game. Don't know why, but that's just how I feel about it. Right, Kammy Koopa is next, and this spirit is actually quite important. Because if you get Kammy Koopa, that does allow you to get another fighter. Whether you're either saying, yeah, it's the hypest character in the game, or boo, it's the lamest character in the game. Why the hell would you even bother with it? Of course, we're talking about Olimar here, and Elf, because you know you can't have one without the other. I feel like if you're gonna call Olimar lame, you're gonna definitely call Elf lame. And if not, then obviously Olimar is cooler than the two. Fucking Elf is just a nerd, a dork, a dweeb. He doesn't deserve anything. But Olimar, though, he's a father. He's a lover. He's a man. And he's a survivor. So much better than Elf. Anyway, with that tangent out of the way, let's go to the real character that we should definitely get, which is Blaze the Cat. Normally, it does say lava floor on the spear screen, but if you know how to platform camp and you know how to work around it, the fire shouldn't ever be a problem. And since they just start off with a fire flower, it kind of invalidates Robin's really good aerials. So Blaze the Cat should definitely be one of your early pickups if you do this challenge. Uh-oh, it dropped its item. It's learning. Its aerials are starting to impress me. It's starting to look scary. And they just don't jump into my smash attack like an idiot. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Nothing good. And we get Mouthful of Curry, one of the best abilities in this game. Especially if you have a sword character, they can actually hit near the edges of it. Really fucking good spirit. Definitely a high recommend in order to proceed within this challenge. And now let us just quickly destroy this monkey so we can get on to the real reason why I wanted to go into this route. Pac-Man! But first, let's just go beat up Master Belch real quick. Because one thing I do learn within doing this challenge is you definitely need to upgrade some other good spirits within this. Because if you just try to use Eevee in the beginning sections for almost everything, then things will start to fuck you up. And plus, like I said, with Master Belch, as long as you know how to platform camp, it shouldn't be any problem. But I did just take a shit ton of damage to that one attack, so yeah, you definitely need to be careful, especially since Wario is one of the best characters in this fucking game for no good reason. But let's just quickly Mario cheese him, and we get the Master of the Belches. And let us quickly level up this green spirit, that way we have a nice trifecta to use without the world. And this is a pretty good spirit to just grind. It's also pretty easy to cheese this spirit if you have an item like a Unura. And it's also a walk-off, so if you can't cheese it by damage or it's running out of time, you can always cheese it by pushing it over to that corner over there and just killing it. But luckily I can just chase it down, because I feel like chasing down campers and all these different kinds of people, it's a fun little challenge. I don't know why. I don't know why I enjoy chasing down these people who are trying to avoid my attacks. Because I like to think they are scared of me. Like they don't feel like they could win unless they try to run away from me. But that's besides the point. Now let's continue on to Garrett, their most powerful character, Olimar. And as you can see, when it showed up, there was, I believe her name was Phosphorus? Fiona? Some Kid Icarus character? But let me rest assure you that in order to open that up, you can use that character, Kami Koopa, or Magic Koopa. Any of those characters would work. So don't be alarmed when you see those spirits pop up, because I will rest assure you, I will put on a little splash screen right now showing which characters can open up that path so you can get Olimar. And oh fuck! And that's why you don't be aggressive, guys. Because if you try to be aggressive, you can just lose a character just like that. And it's painful. Because now you're just training Mario for Olimar. And no matter how you look at it, that's a terrible feeling. And as you can plainly see, I have not learned my lesson because I'm still immediately challenging him off stage. But luckily in this character, he has 5 jumps, so it should be all good. And he has a bomb. And now I can just ledge trap with it. And look at the power of ledge trapping. Yes. Go back to the ledge. Die. Yes. Alrighty. Now with that out of the way, let's quickly move on to the real reason why I wanted to go on this route. For the main man, Pac-Man. I don't know why. Pac-Man just has like a really fun design, a really fun moveset. Like, they didn't need him to make him have that good frame data with that many good projectiles, but they did. And he's a fun character to play as. Some people may think I'm crazy and cringe, but don't worry. The Pac-Man, the Pac-God, he is fun once you get used to all his weirdness. And with Pac-Man acquired, he opens up the path to go to the very first boss arena. And I wouldn't recommend this as your first one to challenge, because I think Giga Bowser and Bowser Fortress is a lot easier. But this is the route I'm choosing. And I'm confident in my abilities to go into this area pretty early. So once we get rid of these stupid little mites, we'll continue on into the fortress. Oh yeah, I will give you guys one word of warning against these mites. Never let Game & Watch cook. Never get overwhelmed by him, because sometimes in the middle of the battle, he could just 9 you, and that could be the end of you. So I would advertise some caution, but he's a tiny little Game & Watch. You should be fine if you just grab him. Also, anyone feel like this character spirit's name and Bayonetta is a little bit sus? Come on, Bayonetta and Strange Love. Come on, we all know what they're doing. Huh, Strange Love gives a Rage Blaster. How's that not sus? Alright, let's move on to the next spirit. And I would just advise you just to try to grab all these rockets as fast as you can. Because man, if the AI gets them, it could be really overwhelming for no reason. I don't know what the fuck happened to Diddy Kong, and I don't care. Alright, holy shit! Sorry guys, looks like 2 rockets touching, it creates massive explosions. Yo, I just love that picture. I don't know why, but seeing Link as a little Joey within a kangaroo just makes me smile. And luckily it's against a Little Max. All we have to do is just get him off stage and just kill him really fast. Or throw a turtle shell at him. That works too. Ah yes, the first of many buttons. Definitely make a beeline for those buttons. That way you can open up more of the map. Because right now, technically we're only halfway. We only have access to half of the map if you play everything perfectly. So you definitely want to make sure you beeline for those buttons, just in case you need to pick up more characters. Oh god, it's a nut wave! They're coming in from all angles! And that's a jump rig! Let's go! Alrighty, now we're moving on to Calypso? 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 I don't know if I'm saying that right. But let's just call her Woman Critter. Yeah, they're everywhere. Luckily they can't handle rock. None of them can just handle the raw power of rock. Yeah, Kirby Down Smash just covers too many options. Definitely a really good move to for a tech chase like that. And up next, it comes the second weirdo within the Legend of Zelda series, Beetle. And I just want to get this debate out there. Which character is more creepier, Beetle or Tingle? I feel like they're both equally as creepy, but Beetle wears less clothes. Take that into account next time you compare those two. You can say what you want with Tingle being a really old man obsessed with fairies. At least he's clothed, and he rocks his uniform. Beetle, on the other hand, nah, he just feels way too creepy, man. And he's obsessed with bugs, too. Not a good sign for Beetle. Not a good sign. Alrighty, with that awkward little conversation out of the way, let's move on to the next thing. Also, another rule for shops. I won't buy anything up until I know I have like a really good amount of spirit points that I collected on this journey to spend with. Because there are chests out there that give out pretty comparable amounts. And so I think I'll just wait until I collect those chests so I can guarantee it. Because trust me, I am not even attempting to add up all the amounts of spirit points I get from each battle, because that is just too much fucking work and I can't be bothered right now. So let's go destroy the Pikmin clan. Oh god, the humanity. They're just coming down and getting pinned down by something that's 3 times their size. This is just like a regular Pikmin. Trust me, all this exactly happens on regular Pikmin. And that's why that game is just so great. It's just animals fighting to the death, pretty much, and you're just a spectator until you decide you're the leader. And let's just swallow this one whole and enjoy his sustenance. Just like in the Pikmin games. Tasty. And then comes out that bastard Master Hand to ruin that bridge again. Which is okay, because you do not want to fight that thing on the other side of the bridge until you are ready. Because, oh boy, will that battle kick your shit in if you're not ready. So let's move on to a battle we can win against the one, the only, Donkey Kong. And just like fighting Donkey Kong in every game, we're just gonna edgeguard him until my fire fucks it up. And he's able to recover for it, and I'm taking damage, and now I'm scared. Because DK with momentum, that's a scary ass beast. And again, it is DK. He's combo food, he can be comboed. And now I have punch online. Yes. Yes. And with that, we get DK. One of the best teammates to have in this game. I still need to get the guy who unlocks the door. So next time we'll be going into the towers and unlocking Dr. Hell Emmerich so we can get into the lab. But for now, let's just quickly kill these small children with bombs. Because Puppy Bros Jr. is definitely one of the main ways to get through breakable rocks in this game, other than Bomberman. And let's just quickly throw a bomb at the bomb guys, just like in Kirby. Wow, this game really is just a Kirby game. Anyway, tune in next time. Well, we'll head down to the city to unlock Dr. Hell Emmerich, so that way we can get into the lab. Oh god, we found Donkey Kong's grandma in a locked box. What does that mean for the lore? We'll find out.